All right, hey guys, Morgan Reeder here. I wanted to do a video for you, and I'm going to go old school with the whiteboard to talk to you about downline, volume, and placement. And there are tons and tons of advanced trainings out there about this, but I wanted to make one video to at least get the wheels turning in your head and for you to start thinking about this stuff. This video isn't going to solve all your questions or give you all the information, but it's going to be a starting point to get you thinking about this, because this is the side of the business that takes a little bit of strategy and is often the hardest part of the business for people to understand. So we are going to dive right in. And what's easier, probably maybe this way is easier for me to write. Okay, so we are going to dive in with, downline first. I'm going to just back up here. Okay, so we're going to put you at the top. So you sign up. You're a new coach, right? Now, our first goal is for you to get to Emerald, right? So that means you have a coach on both sides, an active coach on both sides. So obviously I teach my team, you want to get to Emerald as quickly as possible, because what that means is you start to get free customer leads from Beachbody, which adds up hugely. You also want to make sure you meet the other lead requirements like hitting Success Club and that jazz. But you start to qualify for team leads and volume. You start to accumulate volume, and long term, that's where most of your income comes from. It doesn't come from commission, you guys. Some weeks I have zero commission, but I've got a couple $1,000s in team cycles, and that volume doesn't start till you hit Emerald. So, and what I mean by volume is when you're an Emerald coach, you cycle. So team volume is for every, say this is your weak leg. Actually, let's do it the other way because that's how mine is. So it's easier for me to remember. So say this is your weak leg and this is your strong. How do you figure that out? Go to your business tab under volume and figure out which side is bigger. Some people are even, that is okay. That's just going to be slightly different than what I'm going to talk about, okay? Even is just fine. So weak and strong legs. So for every 100 volume on your weak leg and 200 volume on your strong leg, you're going to cycle once. For Emerald, that's $14. For Ruby, $16. For Diamond, $18. Another reason why you want to get to Diamond as quickly as possible so you can maximize on your cycles, okay? So for every time your volume hits that, you cycle. So that's what we're going to talk about as we move further, is volume and increasing that number, because that's where the income comes from, all right? If you're even, that's okay. It'll swap back and forth depending on where your volume's at. If you have a ton on your strong, not enough on your weak, this is going to roll over, okay? So let's erase that. All right. So you get to Emerald as quickly as possible. Your next step is to get to Diamond, and that is 4 coaches on each side, plus one of them is an Emerald. So say that's this guy, and say that's this guy. That's a Diamond coach. Now, what I did when I was building to Diamond, if I knew somebody or felt somebody was going to be, you know, like a rock star, I'd try and put them on my weak leg the best I could, even though you don't know who's going to do what. It's tough to guess. So what I say to people, just get to Diamond, and then we can focus on the volume and the strategic placement from there, because you really want to get here so you can get to that $18 and maximize that cycle, okay? So once you get to Diamond, I would suggest getting to solid Diamond. And what I recommend to people that usually is usually 6 coaches on each side plus another Emerald on each side. So then you don't have to freak out about dropping from Diamond. You're a solid Diamond. From there, you want to kind of start to strategize. Now, also to get to Emerald, definitely sign up your spouse. If you have a weak leg, put that spouse on your weak leg, because if you build their account, you definitely want to grow your weak leg at the same time. And then brother, sister, whoever you want, boom, you're Emerald, right? Okay, so once you're a strong diamond, you want to strategize. If you don't have a strong and a weak leg, you can pretty much swap back and forth. If you have a strong and a weak leg, you want to start to thinking about loading this weak leg because you want to maximize those volume cycles, right? So volume is something that takes a long time to grow. So you can see my whole image there. It takes a long time to grow. It's going to seem like it takes you forever to get to 500 volume. On your weak leg, it's going to seem like forever to get to 1,000. It's going to seem like forever to get to 5,000. But then after 5,000, it kind of starts to go like an exponential graph. It starts off super, 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 super slow and then starts to grow exponentially, right? Because you start with one coach, that one coach turns into 2, turns into 4, turns into 8, turns into 16, turns into 32. And it grows like that. So that's where the patience comes into play, and too many people give up before that exponential graph even starts to take place. So you start loading the weak leg. Now, if you have a spouse that you're growing their account, I set my preferred placement actually to go on here, on their weak leg. So under your preferred placement, they're still your coach. Under your preferred placement, you can pick right or left. You can also enter a coach ID and that leg. So I enter Steven's ID plus his left leg. So my coach is now, instead of going over here, will go here. So that's going to build his weak leg volume. So once I get to Emerald, once I get him to Emerald, he will cycle as well. Now this is only the case if you're building that person. If it's just a random person, I would suggest keeping growing this leg, okay? And sometimes you have to alternate to try and get that balance. I grew this for the longest time. Now there was so much volume on that leg, I wanted to grow this one so he could cycle as well. So now he makes, $1,000 a week off of those cycles. So that is placement. So that's how you can do that inside leg. It's just a preferred placement setting. What else do I have? So downline, your volume, taking advantage of that, and placement. So if you have a strong and weak leg, you just really want to focus on getting this weak leg volume up, all right? And like I said, it starts off slow, 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 slow. Then the volume starts to increase. And on the leadership ladder, you know that that weak leg volume is one of the requirements. So take a look on where you're at on the leadership ladder and what you want to aim for to get to that next rung. How much volume do you need on your weak leg? And how you grow that is by adding coaches to this leg and by also helping these coaches on this side succeed and grow. But always keep in mind, you can't forget about this side, because in order to hit 2-star, you need a diamond coach on each side. In order to hit 5-star, you need 3 and 2, whichever it is. And in order to hit 10-star, you need at least 5 and 5. 15 doesn't matter after that. So you do need to always remember to think about balance, but I wanted to make sure I showed you those basics. So if this kind of sparks any questions, it should get the wheels turning. But if it sparks any questions, please message me and I can help answer them. And things to also keep in mind, yes, you're taking advantage of the volume, the team cycles, but once you continue to grow, you're going to see income from other places. You have the quarterly star diamond bonus for 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, 15-star. So say you're a 10-star diamond coach, you get the bonus for the 2, for the 5, and for the 10. And it's pretty significant. So that's another place you earn income. For elite, you get a $500 bonus every single month. So there's additional ways to earn income. I know at the start, it seems like all you're doing is commission, and that is what it is. We're helping people get started with their programs, and that's how they get started. But I wanted to show you this training for you to start thinking long-term strategy, because the sooner you start to think about that, the sooner you're going to get to those rank levels, move up the leadership ladder, and start to see income grow faster and faster. So the sooner you can know about this, the better. So again, any questions, you know where to find us in the team page, and you can ask them there. I hope that helps.